Bill 90, also known as Working for Workers Act 5, amended the Ontario Occupational Health and Safety Act, and it expanded some legislative requirements that help protect workplaces, mandating that washroom facilities are kept clean and sanitary, and also added a requirement to ensure that there are records available to show that these cleaning efforts have been maintained. Legislation brought in to include not only construction sites, but also all employers that follow the Occupational Health and Safety Act as well. The change to the Act actually was implemented in July of 2025. That is actually when the washroom cleanliness expectation went into the Act. As of January 1st, 2026, there is going to be that expectation to have, again, records of that logging available to your workers, making sure that they're posted at the facilities, making sure, again, that they're available for people to view as proof that those cleanings have actually occurred. So the legislation simply says they must be maintained in a clean and sanitary condition. They have not given any extra around the definition of clean or sanitary. Really, it is going to be up to that expectation or interpretation of the workplace. So when we think about that, again, maintained in clean and sanitary condition, but we really have those assumptions around what's appropriate. So is there appropriate sanitary products available? We also think about maintained. So are sinks working? Are toilets flushable? So again, as much as legislation doesn't actually define the words clean and sanitary, it really is kind of the employer to understand what reasonable expectations would look like around sort of that verbiage. Inspector could go into a workplace and the washroom could be beautiful. It could be sparkling, clean, and perfect. But if they don't have a record, they could still get an order on the lack of record. And they, again, can be enforced kind of separately. They are intended to work together. The Act is referencing expectations within the regulation. So it is a true tandem piece of legislation. Companies could expect that enforcement would likely come in sort of means of an order from the ministry. An inspector may find that you're not following an administrative task. They may give you X amount of months, maybe weeks, whatever that time is, to start complying. And then they will give some narrative around maybe what the concerns were. So the order, again, is against the legislation. And then often the ministry will provide some narrative around what the concern actually was. You can get sort of 3 different kinds of orders. So one of the orders is considered an administrative or time-bound. This is when an inspector may find that you're not following an administrative task. They may give you X amount of months, maybe weeks, whatever that time is, to start complying. You also may get something that we call a comply forthwith order. Orders that may be associated with something that they consider either low risk or easier or quicker to fix. By the time you leave your facility, you need to make sure this washroom is cleaned. The last order is that stop work order. These are typically done for more significant concerns where the washrooms are not usable at all. They could then write a stop work order that says, you can no longer use this facility, you can no longer use this area until everything's fixed. Legislation is different province to province. We will often see some of the other provinces pick it up in some capacity later as well. It may not look the exact same as it does in Ontario legislation, but there's a very good chance that all provinces will at some point adopt some kind of legislation surrounding washroom facilities and maintaining them properly. So really good to kind of capture what Ontario is doing to prepare for what could be happening in other provinces moving forward.